Hey, it's Angela Wills, and it's been a while since I've talked to you on video, but I wanted to share with you a group that I belong to, a mastermind group that I've mentioned over the years. If you've followed me at marketersmojo.com, I've mentioned this group before. And of course, the reason I've mentioned this group before is it's a mastermind group that I belong to, and it's a group of other online business owners who have been working hard over the last 8 years to build businesses. And I have been one of those people. I first joined in 2004 when I had a soap making business, and then I couldn't maintain the membership, so I dropped out, joined again in 2005, and again stayed for a little while and then dropped out, joined again in 2006, and I have been there ever since. And the group is Solo Masterminds, if you've not heard me mention them before. They are a group of entrepreneurs who are solopreneurs. So most of us are running single person businesses, and then we sometimes outsource to virtual assistants and other people like that. When I first joined the group, I had a soap making business, and over the years I tried a number of different businesses. I always went back to the group for advice and to learn new techniques and new ideas of how to market my business online. And I learned a lot of my essential skills there. Things like how to build a website, how to do SEO, how to do Google Analytics, how to do Google AdWords, and how to build an affiliate program, how to write sales copy. All of these kinds of skills I learned, and I got advice and feedback and information from the people in that group who really knew what they were doing. They were already making sales, and they helped me build my business. And now the people who started the group were Alice Seba and Kelly McCausey. At the time it was called Mom Masterminds. Now it's called Solo Masterminds. Lynette Chandler has always been a great proponent of the program and a kind of behind the scenes tech person. And also now just recently Melissa Ingold has joined. Alice Seba no longer runs the group. Kelly McCausey has been running it for many years, and now Melissa Ingold has joined Kelly. So if you are not familiar with any of those names, you should get familiar with them, because if you want to learn from a solopreneur who knows what they're doing, they definitely do, and I would recommend them any day of the week to learn from and to just see what they're doing, to find out what you can learn from them. So, you know, one of the other things that I got from the group is friendships. And, you know, we're not all just out to make friends, but having friends who really understand what you do and really understand the kind of challenges and problems you'll be going through in your business is a huge bonus. But it's also just a huge benefit to your life, and that's what it's been to me. I've made real friends, you know, people who I have met in person, people who I could call up and who would really understand what it is I'm going through or what I'm doing, or just celebrate my joys with me in terms of, you know, I don't have to go to work and go to a job, especially when I have a problem. Recently, I broke my leg, and it was 6 weeks off my foot with no weight allowed on the foot. And if I were in a job, that would be really difficult. And it's hard to, you know, kind of say that very often to people with a job, because they don't want to hear that too much. They don't want to know, you know, how happy I am I don't have to go to a job, because unless they really love their job, and not everybody does, they're probably, you know, would be happy to have the same kind of lifestyle I do. So I can go to my friends at Mom Masterminds. A lot of them are living that same lifestyle. Sorry, Solo Masterminds. It's been rebranded for quite a while. I can go to those great people there and really share my joys of what I've built. Like I said, started there in 2004. I joined for good in 2006, and that's many years of working hard to build something for myself, and I can share with them the joys of the rewards of that. And that's something to be highly valued, and I don't even know how to put a price on it. It's just a great thing for my business and for myself personally. So it's been business growth and personal growth huge over the years through that group. So another thing I did, I've got my notes on a laptop over here in case you're wondering what I'm looking at. Another thing I did in 2006, I was working at a factory job, and it was an afternoon shift. I used to go to work at like 3 o'clock. I'd come home at midnight, 1, 2, depending on if I had to do overtime. And I really hated it. I did it because it was closer to home than something in my field, which was chemical engineering, which would have taken me over an hour away from home. So this one was about 25, 30 minutes from home. I took that job versus doing a huge commute, which, I mean, would have been a good plan to think about that before I went into the career. But, you know, when you're young, you just decide to pick a career and you don't really think about where you're going to live and how that's all going to work out. So anyway, I was working this factory shift, and I decided to try again. This was not my first business effort, but I decided to try again and start a virtual assistant business. And it wasn't going fantastic. I had just started it, and not too long into starting it, I went to the Solo Masterminds forum and I posted a special offer. I posted an offer of $50 for 10 hours of VA work. And within 24 hours, I had 11 people signed up to be my clients. And so it really launched my business. It got me going. And as you probably know, $50, 10 hours is not a lot of money. It was about $5 an hour. Very cheap. But I knew that, and the reason I did it was I was brand new. I wanted to get experience. I knew the effort it took, or I guessed that it would take a lot of effort to train a new person. And so I gave them the opportunity to get me into their business, give me 10 hours to get to know their business, and then that really saved them a lot of money in figuring out if I was the right person for them and if, you know, training me was worth the effort. I got my foot in the door with a lot of those clients and remained working for them for quite a while, and that launched my VA business. So I can absolutely say the forum and that group was responsible for helping me launch my VA business that I then built for another 9 months and quit that factory job. And that was one of the happiest days, you know, beyond having my son, one of the happiest days I've ever had, because I got to quit my job and start my freedom. And I really never felt like the kind of person who wanted or needed a job. I just was told I had to go get one. I was told I needed to go to college and university and, you know, get a good job. And so that was the path I followed because I thought that was the only one I had. But I really felt really compelled to have a business. And I struggled a lot from 2001, 2002, right up until 2006, when I finally quit my job. And now looking back, that doesn't seem like a huge amount of time, because in that time I had had some successes. I had made some money, and a lot of that was due to, you know, the things that I learned in that mastermind group. Absolutely. And, you know, looking back on it, those were all great learning experiences, and I just hadn't found the thing that really fit for me. Now in 2008, I started Marketer's Mojo, and then continued along a path that was a gradual progression of, you know, being a virtual assistant and then moving away from that, because it ended up being more stressful than I thought, and, you know, more work and more time consuming than I wanted. So I then just transitioned that into the business I have today, which is coaching and training and information products that I put out there for people like you, who are probably watching to this point. You're probably my target market. People like you who want to learn to be a solopreneur, want to be able to quit a job and follow your dreams. So that day when I walked off that, or drove off that factory parking lot, I never looked back. That was the time when I quit my job, and I stayed quit from any job. I've never gone back to a job, and it's 2013. And I have been a full-time entrepreneur working from my home office for all of these years since. And I have to absolutely, you know, credit a lot of what I learned in that group, and credit that group for giving me that springboard to go ahead and follow through on the other things I wanted to do. So a couple more things, and this video is pretty long right now. The members in that group have been a major support system for me. I was going through stuff as I went through my businesses. I went through a separation. I had gotten into a lot of debt. I was determined, to have my business, and I used credit cards to build businesses that just didn't fit for me. That just were, I was chasing stuff at one point, and that forum and those people, people like Kelly and Alice and so many others in there. There are so many great entrepreneurs in there. They all became my support system. So when I was having troubles or confused or just not mature enough yet, just not mature enough yet to have, a business that really made money. I wasn't mature enough to really understand what I needed to do, how I needed to manage my money, how I needed to grow my business. And so having that support system in there was huge. It was a big deal, and it was a huge help to me in my business. And it still is. I still go there for support, for feedback, for advice and information. And it's still my number one source of guidance and, peer support and information. There's still, like right now, I want to learn how to make a Kindle book, how to put a book on Amazon, because I've never done it. I'm a little intimidated by whether or not the process is going to take me a lot of time, and they have the resource in there that I can go through, and I'm fairly confident, very confident that I will be able to do that quickly and easily because of the tools that are available to me in Solo Masterminds. So it is the smartest thing I did for my business. It is definitely something I would do again, no matter what options you gave me. I struggled to make those first payments, as I mentioned. It wasn't like I had a ton of money to spend. I was bootstrapping. I'd been in debt. I was, coming up on being a single mom. And at one point I was working a minimum wage job, and then I was working a factory job. It wasn't like I was making a lot of money. But I knew I needed to be in there. I knew that, even though I dropped out, I knew I had to go back. I knew that I needed that support system. I knew I needed the information, the advice of people who'd been there. And I made that happen. I found the money as soon as I could, got back in, and then stayed. Things like cutting out going to the movies once a month, or dinner and a movie once a month is like $100. So doing something like that, or instead of having a home phone and a cell phone, just having a cell phone, or instead of having coffee 3 or 4 times a week, have coffee at home. So there's things that can be done in almost everybody's budget to find that money if you really want to do it. And so I encourage you, I invite you, I urge you to check it out, and I think that you will be very happy with it if you do. There is a $7 option, and there's a $47 option at the time of making this video, and I encourage you to get the $47 one, because then you'll get in the forum. I have found the forum to be invaluable to me. If you're like me and you want that support, you want to be able to network with people who know what they're doing, you want to just get all the value of all the experience. I just went back in the forum and looked at looked at my very first post in 2004, and the advice and info I got back then. There's such a range of archives, searchable, tons of info in there in that forum piece. So I definitely recommend you check that out. Check out the resources and all of the information that's available there. So go check out Solo Masterminds, join, and I'll see you over there. That's it for me. This is Angela Wills. Bye for now.